Okay, so on the concept of power, power generation. Okay, so first off, we'll talk really quickly about the guy holding the stick. If we're gonna hit the stick, if I keep this here and I'm striking this at a diagonal, what happens?
Slide down, hit the hand.
Every time. Okay, so one, if he holds this up here, where's my cut?
To the hand.
Okay, so this drops down. Okay, this is at this angle so that it can be met perpendicularly and at most slide out, not in to the hand. Okay, right? So this is here, he comes here, I've got this hit, he comes down, not that far, this hit, this hit. The other thing that's happened is I don't want to be, keep going, I don't want to be striking here. Okay, first because it's very easy to miss. But second, because especially on these backhand hits, if I strike here with power, probably just take the stick out of your hand. Done it to multiple of you, multiple times. This position generates all the power through here, rather than bouncing off this way. Okay, so we want to hit no lower than the middle of what's left, not the middle of the stick, but the middle of what's left from his hand to here. So ideally in this space.
This has the best cushion.
Yeah, but you saw what happened to Steven's stick. We keep it in that spot and eventually it just
And it snapped.
snaps off.
This time I'm getting the rhino lining on it.
One of mine came out while I talked about it too.
Okay, so we have, so leaving that there. Okay. When it comes to power, I don't need this to generate power. In fact, you could say that this, if I hit, you felt hits from me before. How is that?
Compared to the before, not bad.
Okay, so and that's just arm, that's just here. The only thing it has is a little bit of a wrist snap here. If I get rid of that wrist snap, which you're gonna do it first because you gotta figure out the rest of it before you can start adding this, then it's just here, which he'll tell you, no, there's nothing there. Okay. So I want to, one, work from these paradas. Okay, don't let go. Okay, so I want to work from these paradas. But what I don't want to do is in any case bend or here, okay? So I want to stay upright. This cut goes from here to here, yes?
Go.
Okay, comes through to my hip, yes?
Yes.
Okay. So my hit is not this. We have those, it's called cabecedario, which is hooking. Cabecedario, and it's a blade technique. So I come in and I hit, and basically the blade digs in and hooks away. Okay, so here, not terribly useful with a stick. Okay, it just bounces off and isn't doing a whole lot. But a lot of your blocks can look that way in some cases. So when this comes through, part of my power generation is by delivering this to my hip. By connecting, I'm using my hip to make the motion, and I'm using the pull into my hip to finish off that strike. Okay. So I have a couple different ways of generating power. We'll call it 3 for right now. Okay. 3 ways of striking. So I can, from here, and I want to keep my elbows down. There's no reason to lift this up, and there's a lot of reasons not to lift this up. So from here, all I'm going to do is use my hip and swing this down. I'm not just using my hip, because that has even less power, okay, than this does. But, so the 3 ways that I can hit is I can hit and stop, okay, I can rotate, or I can lock it, yes, okay. So now, working all 3 of those, I'm in this position, I've got my parada, I've got my hips, and I bring this in, this comes in here. Has a lot more power than a minute ago, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, but I'm stopping. So a lot of the power is getting bled off from this. This is still a functional hit. Depending on what I want to do, I may use it. Because maybe I rebound and come this way. Because there's 2 kinds of rebound. I can rebound straight back to where I was, like a wood tick. But that puts me back to where I was. Maybe I want to rebound from here to a new place. So that is a place where I still need to know how to generate power from here. And that comes through hip rotation and dropping this stick to my center here. Okay. Now, the watik snap hit. Okay, so when it comes through here, so this requires 2 hip motions. I've got to pull the hip through and draw, then pull the hip back and draw back. So I'm still delivering about the same amount of power as the first hit if my timing is right. If my timing is off, then I hit in, and while I'm still hitting, I'm starting to generate this, then I'm bleeding off this power before I was able to let it stop, or let it continue through. So I need to make sure this stops and then comes back. Hit, back, hit, back. The more you practice, the more you can get that timing down for this hip motion, where I can still plenty of power, right? Okay. Now the lob tick I want to carry through. I'm not raising my elbows, but I'm not bending. I'm not bringing this weight back, especially not in here. But I will raise it some into this parata position. Okay. A lot of times you'll parata from here for defense, and I can hit from here. But I may have this up higher to give just a little bit more. Okay. Noticing that if I am here and I come this way, this is a telegraph. So I better have worked out a better place for that. Okay. So right here, this has this hip turn and a pull into my hip. So like I'm pulling into parata 4. Okay, or in the case of the lob tick, it passes through parata 4 and back up to parata 2. So right here, here. The other thing that's happening is it's not just a twist. I am dropping my weight, but I'm not dropping it here. I'm dropping it here. So from right here, I hit, okay, or I drop my weight, and there's a lot more in that from gravity. So all of those things are happening at the same time. I'm drawing this down, I'm turning my hips, and I'm pulling it down. Here. Okay? Ideally coming all the way back into this space. Unless I want to come through this space. So, questions so far?
I do. Is there ever in a fight situation, is there ever a place to use a hit that comes like from back here? Say if you were in an altercation and you didn't want to do a lot of damage.
Then just don't do a lot of damage. So I could hit really hard from right here and just lay into this hit, or I could not lay into this hit without having to come back here to do it. What I am doing, and so I will say the answer is probably really no, because there's a huge disadvantage. Anytime I come back this way, if he sucks into this vacuum right here, I'm in trouble because this is disengaged. So in the time it takes me to come back, that's bad. I want someone to do that. He pulls back like that, and I come in here, and now I've got this. Okay, that's what I want. If he hits from where he is, it's really hard, 1, to see it coming, and 2, to do something about it. If I'm in here and I hit this way, there's a lot less time to get in front of it where you need to, which is why we do a lot of Sagong, is because we're passing it, because there's not a lot of option to get. If he's already here, if he pulls back, I can get here. If he doesn't pull back, then I get here. This ain't good. So that's where that Sagong movement comes in. You get out of the way so that, because that motion is so fast. So in the case of this, the highest your hands you ever want them to be is wherever you put them to diminish. Hey buddy, I don't want any trouble. I don't want to go, whenever you go, hey buddy, I don't want any trouble. Okay, I may even go, hey buddy, I don't want any trouble. For me, I like distance. If I come in here like this, then that gives him the ability to get really close. Okay? If I'm in here like this, it's a lot harder for him to see where I am. Especially if I'm kind of moving around. These don't move, but I move. Harder for him to see that I'm now closer. Okay? So, that's off topic, but fits the same thing. Basically, I want to hit from wherever I am. If I'm here, it's here. I don't want to chamber back this way. I don't want to chamber back this way. I just want to drop this. Second one can come chambered, because I'll probably chamber it while I'm delivering this one. Okay? And I've got these hits, be it a boxing chamber, okay, being a karate chamber. Okay? You've got a variety of different things. You know, you've got these salat chambers, these Thai chambers here. Doesn't matter. What matters is wherever you put that is where you hit from. You don't redirect this energy and then try to bring it back. Because the other thing you're doing from a physics perspective is I'm adding momentum this way and then having to stop that. From here I'm at a dead stop, which means I've got to generate energy to move it forward. If I pull it back, I've got to generate energy to move it this way, and then I have to counteract the energy I generated to bring it back this way, which is not very efficient. So even if I'm here, I don't want to bring this back. I want to come in through here. Okay? Which is why I was mentioning earlier on this whole thing of how I may come up like this to hit, is that this will probably be subtle. This will probably raise over a space of time and then hit from there. It's not going to go here because that's not efficient. Okay, so if my defensive position is here, then this is where I'm hitting from. But if I want to deliver a higher strike, I mean, it's going to be hard for me to deliver a strike up here with my stick down here, because I can only draw down, right? So if I want to deliver a strike up there, then I may be moving this up. So now it's high enough to deliver the strike that I intend to deliver. Okay? I'm not going to go 1-2, because I better be getting hit. Right? Now that's obviously an exception. Hit. If I can get a second hit to chamber the first hit. But that goes back to you're chambered on the second hit. Okay. Other questions? Good. Okay. We've gone over power before, so none of this is new. This is just kind of revisiting some of this. So we hold the stick. So I have three ways of hitting, and they are.
There's the stop shot.
Stop shot.
We take
Take.
I'll take that.
Okay. 4 and 5. Combinations of the above.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So, what's the best way to phrase this? So when you hit, is it a draw? I guess it's depending on if you're using a stick or a blade. Because we've talked about kind of sliding and doing the sharpening motion, right? But, I mean,
Yeah.
I just, well,
I
what
think
I'm trying,
yeah.
what I'm trying to get to is that what I'm learning for is, I'm having some issues today.
Okay.
But Mark was telling me it's you're basically pulling down with here. Like that's where a lot of power comes from is
Right.
pulling it down. And he had so I was just trying to figure out.
Yeah, that's
there's lots of
absolutely
things
it.
we try to hit basically this. And there's a big difference between this and and I think that you like you can hear the sound where the power is coming from.
Right.
And so
Yeah, so to answer that question, we'll kind of go back to what I was saying, is that in this space, from here, I don't want to draw up to draw down. So even if I'm going to do a draw cut, then I want to be in this position and draw this through. But you're absolutely right. When I say that we're drawing to the hip, we're drawing to the hip with basically our fist. Okay, I'm pulling my fist in this way. So when I hit this motion is drawing in here. The way that changes is actually in position. So if my contact is made here, then this will slice through. If my contact is made here, the motion is the same, but now it's a blunt hit. It's a very choppy hit, right? But I haven't changed the strike that I'm delivering. And that's a great way, Mark put it in a great way, which is that I'm kind of focusing with this puño, which I've told you guys a lot because I don't like this position. It's weak, it doesn't have a lot going to it. Think of it like ice pick stabbing with a knife, okay? And then if I'm thinking of it that way, then I'm also training it that way, right? Now I'm training the use of the knife the same way. Okay, all the motions come together. So I'm gonna bury this same way. If I'm gonna bury this fist same way, I'm gonna generate with my hip, drop the elbow. Okay, so hip drops my shoulder, which drops my elbow, which drops my wrist. And this is a heavy hit, so just hand. Okay, so if I just go down, or I let it all come through here, okay, it becomes very heavy, right? Okay, yes.
first two more like a setup for maybe a bigger strike. You said the second
Yeah, what you're most likely to see is this lob tick, because it's the big heavy hit, right? Especially from distance, if I've got the option, and if I'm defending, if I want to take that hand off or give you a strong reason, then I'm not just going to pop your hand, I'm going to go through that space. So yes, this, I consider the stop hit not truly a stop. In my mind, it's that rebound where I can come in here, come back, so I'm hitting and stopping and coming back.
You're setting up
Okay.
for another hit.
Exactly. So, and all of these I should be setting up for another hit. So lob tick, my other hit's right here. Snap hit, my other hit's from this position. We tick, my other hit's from right here. So all of them are setting up, because I never want to throw just one hit, right? So in that, really what's happening is I'm coming in and I'm letting this stop, and I'm almost doing the same motion as the we tick, only instead of directing it back to where I started, I'm directing it into the next hit, okay? Because I'm hitting from, going back to, I hit from where I am, I hit from here, okay? If I we tick, now where I am is here again. If I lob tick, now where I am is here or here. If I stop hit, now where I am is here, okay? So nothing has really changed, it's just wherever I decided I'm gonna stop. But there's escalation in power generation. This does not have as much power as this, does not have as much power as this. Okay, make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay. Good. So what are the most important things about generating power?
Use
I've
your
mentioned
whole
them all.
body. Use your whole body.
Use your whole body.
Hips,
Yes.
switch hands.
Weight.
Drop your weight as far as it's gravity.
Gravity.
Yes.
What you got?
Sorry, my back really hurts.
Oh, no, yeah.
Don't waste momentum by fighting.
Stay straight. Okay? The only time I want to lean is if I have the ability to do so based on range. So I never want to lean in through here. That's not entirely true. There's always exceptions. But I never want to lean into this space. Okay? I may lean into this space because he comes through with a number one high, and I may lean into this space to get out of the way. I may lean into that space to hit or hit. But I don't want to lean into his cut zone.
Well, and he has his other weapon readily available,
Thank you.
and you're very
So I never want to lean into that space. And I'm not actually generating power by leaning. In fact, even in the case of getting out of the way of this, I'm not really generating power there. That lean isn't generating power. The dropping my weight and turning may, and when he goes for that, if I go with his Ala Contra hit, dropping my weight and turning my hips and drawing this through is delivering the power. The lean is just to get out of the way. So all I've really done is change the angle of this hit here to here. So before it was this way, now it's this way. The motion's the same, it's just on a different plane. Okay? But you've got to be very selective how you use that. You've got to gauge the situation and determine. More often than not, keeping your head back and rotating is better. And if you're not good at it, you can lose your balance. Or if you lean in the wrong place, you know, you're in trouble. And this is the only guy. Do I want to lean this way into this guy? Maybe not. Maybe so. Hit this guy, double leg, take down this guy. I don't know. There's a lot of options. So you got to base it off the situation. All I can do is give you the principles, and then you've got to figure out where it fits. So, last questions. Good. Then grab a partner and hit some sticks.